Hello to all members of SUGChennai. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I welcome you all to the webinar on a starter's roadmap to navigating XM Cloud with our esteemed guest speakers, Nikita Vashisht and Shreyansh Nahata. I thank you all for joining on this exciting webinar, and I thank Nikita and Shreyansh for accepting to share their expertise and taking time out of their busy schedule. Now, let's get into this webinar on XM Cloud.
Good
Yeah, you
evening,
can go ahead.
everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Karthikeyan, for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. Our topic of presentation is a starter's roadmap to navigating XM Cloud. So let us introduce ourselves. My name is Nikita Vashisht. I'm working as a technical lead in Extension Information Technology. I'm certified in XP version 9 and 10. I've also done my certification in XM Cloud and Sitecore CDP. Apart from that, I keep on contributing to the community. I have my own website where I write technical blogs. Shreyansh, you can take over.
Hi everybody, good evening. Thank you Karthikeyan for the introduction. I am currently working as a senior software professional at Extensia. I am Sitecore 10 and XM Cloud certified. So the agenda for today's session would revolve around the key topics that we have broken down into. Understanding what is composable architecture, then a brief about what is Sitecore XM Cloud, and some key features that are introduced in Sitecore XM Cloud, the architecture and the thought process behind designing the XM Cloud, then the terminologies that are used frequently in your XM Cloud project, and the reasons why we should consider moving to XM Cloud and the benefits that we get from XM Cloud, and then an insightful demo from Nikita towards the end of the session. So before we even begin with XM Cloud, let's take a step back and understand what is composable architecture, what it is all about. In our traditional XP XM, right, at the DXP platforms, which we usually call it, all the products were all clubbed together in one particular instance. But in composable architecture, you can buy the products as in what you need. So you can say it as a modular flexible solution that allows you to choose the products that you need that are relevant to your project, and each product will have their own unique capability that can be integrated, cross integrated across products using APIs. Uh, Sitecore has divided broadly their products into three main suites. One is the content cloud, which has the content hub, the XM cloud, the search, and all those capabilities. Then is the commerce cloud, wherein you have discover and the order cloud, and then the engagement cloud, which is about connect, send, CDP, and personalize. So the benefits of using your composable architecture, it gives you more freedom, it gives you more flexibility, and since you buy only the products which are required, you get to choose, and your subscription charges are also very low. So that was the idea behind the composable architecture, which Sitecore is driving or investing heavily into. What is XM Cloud? If I have to tell it in 2-3 words, it's a cloud-based CMS, a SaaS offering from Sitecore. It's one of their latest. It's one of the It's one of the Sitecore's latest offering. No need to install any software, no need to manage any softwares, and no need of infra or DevOps support. All will be taken care by Sitecore. So all the hosting, monitoring, and the maintenance of server all will be taken by Sitecore. So it's software as a service. We've moved from the XP XM. We've still not moved from XP XM, but we are gradually moving towards the cloud-based services that are going to be introduced. So every team every organization that uses XM Cloud, so and the teams inside those organizations benefit from XM Cloud. So let's start with the marketing teams. With the new features which Sitecore XM Cloud has introduced, they'll be, creating campaigns, creating A/B testing, creating a new web page would be very seamless within click of a button, within a few drag and drops. For developers, since it's a, since it's a headless architecture, since it's a headless architecture, your front end is segregated from your back end. It will give you more flexibility. And for technologists, for architects, since there would be no upgrades required, the performance would be fast and it's a SaaS based platform, so it would ease away the life of most of the architects. The key features that are introduced in the XM Cloud. One, the headless that we've already spoken about, separating your backend from the front end. Then the Experience Edge. Experience Edge is your CDN URL. Unlike your XM and XP, which had CD servers, we have Experience Edge here, the Edge database. Uh, Front end as a service, so it is not something like what you see is what you get, with easy drag and drop interface with new features like Sitecore pages, Sitecore component builder. You will be able to design your pages within few clicks. Personalization, there are a lot of out of the box personalization rules that are available, multiple variants of the components that can be created, which will help you create your campaigns or your web pages in a, and multiple variants of your web page in a very what do you say, speedy manner. Then Sitecore also provides the page insights and the site insights. It tells you about the footfall, it tells you about the average user time spent on the website, it will tell you the bounce rate of your website. All that data would also be available. Subscription based, since you pay for what you need, uh, and no need to install any software or no need to manage any software, it becomes very easy. And the built-in DevOps capabilities. DevOps capabilities, the pipelines and all would be set up within a click of a button, and you can create your dev, QA, your production, pre-production environment within a click of a button. So you would not need any infra support as well. So this picture gives you an complete overview of what exactly is XM Cloud. The delivery server, which has now been replaced with Experience Edge, the composable add-ons that can be added, the interfaces that are newly introduced like Sitecore dashboard, Sitecore pages, components, explorer and forms, which Nikita will be explaining towards the end of the session in her demo. The developer tools, the deploy app which will take care of your deployment, the Sitecore CLI which will serve as, it will give you commands to directly interact with your Sitecore instance. GraphQL, it can be used to query data from Experience Edge servers, the REST API and webhooks, and your JSS setup and the Next.js SDK. And also it gives you the support for your Vercel and Netlify, wherein you can host your front end applications on Vercel and Netlify, and all the support is provided by Sitecore. This diagram gives you an overview of the architecture of how things work in XM Cloud. Let's say as a developer, I check in, I use the source control of GitHub or Azure DevOps. Whenever I check in the code, I can use the deploy services that comes with Sitecore XM Cloud to deploy my .NET code or the C# code into my XM Cloud instance, and then I published my content into the Edge server. The end user request comes on your on your Vercel or Netlify, which will be the static side hosting. So whenever a user requests a website, let's say abc.com, it goes to your Vercel or Netlify where you host your front end application. They in turn use GraphQL queries to fetch content from your CM instance, which is published on Experience Edge. And then there are multiple tools available in the XM Cloud instance, like experience editor, component builder, pages explorer, which helps you build components at a very fast pace. So Nikita, you can take from here.
So let's talk about some terminologies that XM Cloud offers. So the first one is organization. So organization includes your team that is working onto the Sitecore XM Cloud and the products that you have subscribed to. Then we have project. Project groups different environment, let's say development environment, testing environment, production, UAT, and you can create your project easily through deploy apps and CLI. Then environment. Environment is an entity that holds different set of configurations, your code, and all the implementations that you have done. Then site. Site is based out of a headless collection of pages, which has various components that are being added onto your page that separates your front end from your back end. Then we have site collection. It's a parent item that organizes different sites on the basis of the business logic. So supposedly if you have one unit, say we have a one brand and we have different sites to it. So we can have a parent site collection under which we can have different sites. Then we have Experience Edge, which works as a publishing target for XM Cloud, where all the content is being published. Then let's talk about why we need to use XM Cloud. What are the advantages it offers? So first one is always on. So it ensures that your site is always available with high uptime and reliable performance. Then we have flexible pricing. Since we only pay for what we are using in XM Cloud, so it has an adaptable pricing model. Then we have interoperability. So it's very easy to integrate XM Cloud with any third-party system or any other composable product. Let's say Sitecore Connect, Sitecore CDP, personalized. So our digital experiences eventually gets better. Then we have speed to market. So with XM Cloud, we can quickly develop our products. We can deploy everything easily. So our digital experiences become much faster and the content is delivered in a much faster rate to the market. Then we have enterprise grade cloud. Since it's built on a cloud-based platform, so it's designed to meet high performances. Then we have lastly infinite scalability. So XM Cloud can easily handle increased traffic without getting slowed down. Let's move to the demo now. So over here, I have my XM Cloud portal. So as you can see, let's talk about different tabs that we are seeing over here. So the first one is the sites. Here, all of my sites that I already have is present. Then inside my tools tab, I can see a dashboard with different build options. So Sitecore XM Cloud offers a lot of Canva based tools where we can create our website. So first is the page editor. Second is the component builder. Third is our Explorer. In Explorer, you can see the overview of your tree structure. Then Experience Editor, we all are familiar about. Then forms, we have XM Cloud Forms. Then analytics. So all of these things are available in our dashboard. Then settings will have all the analytics identifier. So when you're creating your site, you will be needing an analytics identifier to access the analytics of your page or site insights. So for that, it is being created for each website. So let's go to our sites and see how you can create a new website. So to create a new website, you can simply click on this create site option. So here we will be having a set of templates that you can choose from. Since it's a portal, so we are having the option of play template site, but in your actual XM Cloud, when you'll set it up, you will have empty or basic site. So empty site will not have any partial or page design pre-configured, but in our basic site, we have a pre-configured basic structure of a site. So if you want to create a site, you will simply select the template, whichever you want to use. So supposedly if I'm creating a basic site, I'll select the basic site option. I'll give the name. If I'll give it as SUG website, and I can create my website. So it will take 2 minutes. So while it is getting created, I can go to my already existing website. Over here, when you open your website, you can see on my left-hand side, there is a content tree structure. So it will show what all items that I have in my content tree for that specific site. Then in components, we have all our collection of components that are being there, that is being offered from XM Cloud, and all the custom components that we have created. All of them are listed in our components tab. Then inside my template, there is an option for us to design a page partial design and assign a page design to our data template. So first, let's talk about a partial design. So over here, we can create partial design. So partial design is nothing but what if we have any common component on our page, say, let's say header or footer. So those components remain constant or static throughout our website. So rather than recreating it or re-adding it again and again on every page, we use a concept of partial design. So we create our component, we design it, and we add it in our page design. And that is how our layout or a structure of a page is created. So to create a partial design, you'll click on this option where we have an option to create a partial design. You will give it a name and then your partial design. So supposedly if I say header 1. So I'll click on create. So it will open a editing platform for me. So whatever components that I want to select, I can drag and drop easily onto this. So there are pre-configured components that are there, but then there are other options also that you can select from. So there is a rich text, page content, all of these you can easily drag and drop and create. I'll close this tab. So in my page design, I will create the structure of my page. So I've already created 2 pages. One is for news listing and second is the product page. So I'll open the one for you. So over here, if I want to create my news listing pages and I know that there is one component that is static throughout all my listing pages, I will add that component. I will add that specific partial design to my page design structure so that I do not need to add the rendering again and again onto the page level. So that is how you can design your pages. Once you're done with designing a partial design, page design, you'll go to your data template. Over here, you can create your new template. What all you need to do is you have to click on this create template option. It will redirect you to your content editor. In your templates folder, you can create your template. So inside your project, you will see your website, SUG site. Over here, you can create your templates and you can point that specific template to the page design that you have created for it. And then you can insert that to any item using the configure tab. Then we have personalize and analyze as tabs. So we'll talk about them later in the session. So now if I want to create a page inside my content tree, I'll click on these 3 dots. There is an option to create a sub page. I can select any of my templates. So supposedly if I'm using a news listing, I'll select this. I can give it as test. So as you can see, my page will be created. Now, if I want to add a content, I'll click on this. I'll simply add any rendering. Say, supposedly, if I want to add a promo component, I'll click on the promo component. Since it's a dynamic component, I need to assign a data source to it. So I can click either one of them. I've already created few data sources, but we can create it inside the content editor. I'll simply go to my content editor. Inside my content, my SVG site, there will be a data folder. Inside it, there is a promo folder. You can click on this. You can insert your promo card. You can give any name. And then you can define your data and then you can assign this item to your component. So it's that easy to add a component or create a card. It's basically a low code, no code environment. You can easily drag and drop your components and create it. So let's talk about the component builder now, how you can create your components. So I'll go to the tools option. There's an option of component builder. So this is my component builder. Let's talk about it a little. So here you can see there are different collections that I have. Over each collection, there are few components that I have already created. There are some pre-configured components that XM Cloud offers for us to use. So everything is being managed inside the component builder. Then we have a styles tab. Over here, we have different fonts, colors, graphics, everything is available. So these are something that are pre-configured, but if you want to add any other font, you can do that. You can easily add your font. You can add your custom CSS, Google fonts. So all your styling, alignment, everything is being managed. You do not need to explicitly write any of your CSS. Everything you can easily create, or you can create your styling, global styling, and attach it to your components. Then we have different colors. You can add any color if you want. Then we have typographies, decorations, all of these things are available. Then we have data sources. So to add any data source, like how you map a component, a dynamic component to a template. So all of that data sources are available in our data sources tab. Then we have publishing. So we can see different components on which specific workflow state our component is. So that is being there. Then inside our settings, we have different settings available. You can check whatever API key or the data that you want to check over. Then when I go to the My Components tab, I can add a collection. So if I have a brand and I want to create multiple components for a specific brand, so what I'll do is I'll create a collection with the name of a site or a brand. So supposedly if I'm using, say, brand A, I will save my collection. So now my collection brand A is being added. Now, if I want to add a component inside it, I'll click on add component. I'll give my component a name. Say I'll give it as component. I'll save this and I'll click to start editing. Now over here, you can see there is a 5 by 12 grid. So in our component builder, it's a grid-based development environment. Here, you can easily create your component based out of pixels. So if supposedly you want a card on your left side and have your content written on your right side, so that can be easily managed. So all the CSS alignments that can easily be done by selecting the grid, how you want your component to look like, and then you can see those components on different devices. So we have different modes to see our components. So we have extra large, large, medium. So all of these tabs can be used to like see your component, how it is looking on different devices. So now if I want to create supposedly a card component, I'll select the area. So supposedly I've selected the area. What I'll do over here is I'll add one element to it. So let's say I'm adding a card element. I will append inside this section. I want first a heading. Say I'll write XM Cloud. I can simply click on this. I can give any H tag that I want. So if I want it to be in H3, I'll click on this. Then welcome to SUGChennai presentation on. Now, if I want to add an image after that, I can simply click on it, drag my image component, and then I can add a card. If I want to assign an image to it, I'll click on my image component. Over here, you can see the image source is empty on my right hand side. I'll click on this image source. I can simply click on change. You can either paste the URL or you can select it from your own device. I'll give. So now I've mapped one image over here. If I want any other component, if I want supposedly a link, I can select a button option or a link option, whatever you want. So if I want a button, I can add it at the end. So now my button has been added. So now if I want to do the styling of my card, I will click on each component. On my right hand side, there are different styling options that are given to me. So I can style my H3 heading, how I want my font to be, my color to be. All of these things can be specified. Then my text setting. If I want this text to be centrally aligned or right aligned, everything can be managed. Similarly, for each of my components, I can select however I want my component to look like. I can do my styling. So now if I want to add a background image to it, that can also be added to my card. Select one image. So now a background image is added. So once you're satisfied with your component, how it is looking, everything is ready, you will stage your component. Once it's staged, you will publish it. So now it's been published. Now we can add this component to our page. I'll go back to my page editor. I'll refresh it once for the component to be available. I'll create another page, let's say it as part. I'll select the component. So when you scroll down, so as you can see, my collection is visible now with the name of brand day. I can select my card component. So my card component will be added. I think there is some problem with the portal. That's the reason the images are not loading as of now. But once you use the actual XM Cloud that you have configured, all your images will come. So that's how you can create a component. But now, supposedly, if you want to use the same exact same card component on different pages, but the content should differ. So how will you do that? So you will be needing a data source for it. So to have a dynamic component where you can simply attach a data source on the same styling, same exact same card on different pages, how you will do that? Let's see that also. So this component is done. I'll go to my components tab again. Over here, I will add another component. Let's give it a name as dynamic card. I'll save this. I'll click on start editing. Over here, again, I'll select my grid. I'll add my card element. I'll add a X3 heading. Then I'll add a paragraph. Then I'll add the image. And then I'll add a button. So now if I want to map it with a data source, I'll simply click on each element that is being added on my card. So supposedly my first heading option. So if I want to map it with a data source, I'll click on the text option. There is an option we can see as mapped. We'll go to it. Over here, you can see all the data sources that we have. Those listings are available. So now what you can do simply is you can create a template inside your specific site folder with all the fields that are there in your component. So once you will do that, it will be available over here. So now, as you can see, I've already done it. So there's a custom card new with the fields, heading, paragraph, image, and a general link. I'll select this one. I'll click on next. So now it will open it. So now I can map my heading with any of the fields that are being created in my template. So now if I want to map heading with heading, I'll select this. Now it is being mapped. I'll go back. I'll select my paragraph. Now in my paragraph, I want to assign the text that is there. I'll again go to the mapped option. Over here, I'll map it with my paragraph field. Now for the image as well, I'll go to the image source. I'll select the mapped option. In this, I wanted to map it with my SRC of the image field. Then I'll go to my button. Over here, first I'll give the text. I'll map it with the text option of my general link. And then for the link, I'll map it with the href. So once this is done, I'll add a background image. Add it. So now my dynamic component is all set and ready. I'll stage this. I'll publish it. So now it's published. I'll go back to my content editor. I'll refresh it once. Over here, I'll add another page. Now I'll select the component that I have added. So inside my brand name, now my dynamic card is there. So once I'll select this, it will give me an option to assign a content item. Since I have mapped all the fields inside that component to a specific data source, it is asking me to assign a data source that is being created from that template. Now I go to my data option. So as you can see, there is a data source already available. I can add it. I can assign this to my component. And all the data that is being there in that specific data source that is being added. Again, the images are not loading because of the portal issue, but it will be there. So that's how you can create your dynamic and static components using component builder. Now let's see what's personalized offers to us. So now when you go to your personalized tab, here you can see it will ask you to create a variant. So you can create at max at 8 variants. So I'll click on option of creating a variant. Once you click, you can give it any name. So if I supposedly want my India visitor, all the people who are coming from India, they should not see my component. I'll specify it as India visitors. I'll click on next. Over here, it will ask me to create my audience. So I can add conditions. So there are a lot of conditions that are predefined that are being given out of the box, but then there are certain other ways also that you can create your conditions. You can have the option of creating custom conditions also. So Sitecore keeps on adding the conditions. So you can, earlier it was, I think, 20 conditions that were there, but now I think they have increased it. So you can keep on checking the change log for that. So now if I want to select the country, so I'll click on this geo one. I can select the visitor is in India during the current visit, and I'll save this condition. So now my audience was successfully saved. Now it's been created. I'll close this. So over here, if I want to personalize my component, I'll click on this dynamic cart. So in my right-hand side, it's saying that change the content item, swap or hide the component to apply personalization. So either we can swap the component with any other compatible rendering, or we can hide this also if I do not want this component to be visible. So I can simply switch on this toggle button of hide this component. So now it is hidden for me now. So now if a user will visit from India location on our website, this component will not be available to that user. There is an option to also preview your pages in different devices, how your pages will look. So we have a mobile view, then we have a tablet view, then we have a desktop view. Then before publishing your pages, there is another option that has been added to our XM Cloud is to preview. So once you click on this eye icon, you can see how your website or how your page will look actually when you publish your content in the Edge. So this is again a very interesting thing that before even publishing, you can check everything how it is looking. Yeah. So now let's talk about analyze. So here you can have the sites and the page analytics that are available to us. So now since it's a new website, so there is no data. So if I'll select their play website, over here you can see there are different data that is being present, that is being analyzed. So we have the number of visitors, average time on that site, then number of visits, then the bounce rate, everything is being pre-captured. You can analyze it. You can change the timings from here. So if you want to see the data that is being captured in last 1 hour, so that you can select easily. So there's no data available. So you can do it last till 30 days. You can have or all the data is being fetched for you. Then there are different graphs available that you can study about the analytics. So this is all about general in our site. Then what if you want to compare the analytics of a specific page, or you want to study the analytics, how a page is performing? So if you've created a component for A/B testing and you want to, or you want to run a campaign and you want to check how that specific campaign is performing. So there are page insights also. So you can click on any page. Say if I want my sessions page, I want to see the analytics of my sessions page. So the data will get available. Then another option that is being there is to compare the analytics. So once you have personalized your components or any component on a page and you want to compare now how my personalized content on my page is performing versus how the actual page is performing. So you can simply click on the page that has a variant. You can select, as of now, there is no page or the page or a component that is being personalized. So this is being disabled. But if you have a page that has a component which has personalization attached. So you can compare the two variants and you can study the different rates that are being there. So that is very easily available to us. I think that's it from my side. We can move to our presentation. So let's address some questions if we have.
There are some questions in the chat.
Uh, so let me read the first one.
So
So
go ahead, Nikki.
yeah.
If anyone wants to ask the question directly, please raise your hands. Yes, Bharadwaj. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, thank you, Karthik. So Nikita, actually, this it's been said like there is no web server to where we store the content in the XT Sitecore, right? So here, how the publish works and how the data been stored in XM Cloud.
So, Bharat, all the content that is being there, it is being published on the Edge environment. So, in this XM Cloud, we have Experience Edge.
Okay. So we can after making changes, so we want to explicitly want to do that, or how is it, Nikita? Or it will publish automatically to XM Cloud.
No, no, no. So, once your component is ready, how you do the publishing, there is an option I can show you in the portal as well. You can click on the publish option. It will publish your content to the Edge. I will show you at the end of the video. Like all the
Oh,
questions are done, I can demo that also.
yeah. And one more question. So as you said, like if you want to develop dynamic components and we want to add dynamic content on the website, like
Mhm.
you told like a data from data source, we can change it to that dynamic component. Is that
Mhm.
data source is created is the customizable one, or we have to create it from that experience editor, or how?
No, no. So it's both ways. There's an option in our page editor also to add a data source, like how we add it in our experience editor, or you can simply go to your content editor, go to your folder, how you usually create an item using a template. You can create that and assign that item to your specific component.
Okay. So and here also we can so as I see like you are applying the styling also like to
Mhm.
the components which you are creating. So
Mhm.
then in this case like there is no like we don't want to depend on front-end developer, or we can do it on cell phone when we are using XM Cloud.
So in XM Cloud, Bharat, there are a lot of capabilities that are inbuilt for styling, alignment. So we have an option of creating a global styling also that you can easily plug in. So a lot of it is being already pre-configured for us to create the component. That is why it is low code, no code environment where you can easily create your components. So that can easily be done. So basic styling, that can be easily plugged in. We have a lot of options that are available.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One question, Nikita.
Yes.
Any feature which is not available in XM Cloud and available in XP, what we are working?
So in XP, we have different, like we have XDB, right? Yeah, Shreyansh, you can go ahead.
So there are a lot of features like that, Nikam. The XConnect XDB is not available. The identity server is removed. The custom search indexes are removed, and then the geolocation, device detection, they are removed. The MVC is not there. The MVC also is not there. So there are a lot of things that are available in your XP, Sitecore XP, but not available in XM Cloud. So as of now, with the knowledge that I have, I am able to remember a few of them.
Okay. Thanks, Shreyansh.
Uh, do we have any other questions?
Okay, if we have no other questions, I think we can close the session. Okay. I thank all the participants who have attended this session and asked great questions and to make this session very lively. Thank you all. Really want to say special thanks to Nikita and Shreyansh for the great session on XM Cloud and the great demo explaining all these specific concepts.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present. Thank you so much.
Thank you.